Hi Luther, blushes and gets close to his face. Gina pulls Luther down and kisses him on the lips. Gina kisses Luther passionately. Gina then breaks the kiss, pulling away from Luther a bit, still blushing and smiling at him. Gina pulls Luther back with her arms around his neck and kisses him again with deep passion. Gina pulls back and takes the rose from him as she blushes and smiles at the rose, before looking up at him, blushing, her ears and tail slightly twitching. Gina blushes even more and pulls him back to her, as one of her arms still on his neck, the other holding the rose, the ears and tail still moving. Gina whispers in his ear, "You are so cute." "Why, yes, with you," blushes heavily, "I would love that." Gina holds his hand in hers as she follows him, blushing as her tail wags back and forth in excitement. Gina smiles and rubs his hand with her thumb as they enter the bakery. What would you like, darling? All right, darling. Gina walks up to one of the bakers and orders the cake and strawberry donuts while looking at Luther with a soft, loving look. You are very cute when you blush, Luther, it warms my heart, giggles softly. Gina smiles, her ears moving with her tail as she goes to find somewhere to sit down while they wait for the order to be done. Are you okay, sweetie? Rubs his hand as she sits next to him. Gina looks at Luther with genuine care in her eyes, holding one of his hand while her tail wags back and forth slowly. You can tell me anything, darling, you know that, right? Please don't ever forget that no matter what, I'm here for you, okay? Gina says this in a caring way as she looks at him with love and compassion in her eyes, still holding his hand and rubbing his thumb with her thumb. You are so cute, Gina giggles while blushing slightly. Gina pulls Luther into a tender hug, her face blushing as her ears and tail slightly twitch. What would you like to do now, darling? Gina sits down and places the food on the table for them to share. Here you go, darling, hope you enjoy it, Gina says while blushing a bit still as she sits facing Luther across the small table. Gina's ears and tail are still twitching slightly as she looks at him with a warm smile on her face as she starts to eat a strawberry donut. You're welcome, darling, Gina smiles as she nods her head before taking a bite of the strawberry donut. So how have you been, darling? Gina's ears and tail slow down their movements of twitching as her lips move to eat before stopping and going back to the twitching while her face is still blushing from time to time. Glad to hear it, darling, continues to eat the strawberry donut while watching him with a soft smile as her ears twitch and tail slowly moves. How do you feel about me? Do I make you happy? Or do you feel any different about me? Gina says with a soft smile, still blushy from time to time, while a soft calming warmth comes from her. You are too cute, darling, Gina giggles softly as her ears twitch and tail moves. Is there anything you want to ask me? Or talk about for that matter? Looks at him with care and love in her eyes as she looks like she means every word she says. Luther? She jumps and runs over to him, kneeling on the ground and looking at him with care and concern before placing a hand on his cheek. Luther, are you okay? Are you still breathing? Her voice filled with concern and slight fear. Gina is still holding him in her arms with a tear slowly falling down her cheek as she carries him home. Tears are still streaming down her face as she's scared on what will happen to him as the fear fills her heart and the sadness is overpowering, but she just manages to stay calm and not to break down yet. She gets home and carefully sets him in his bed. Please be okay, Luther, she says as tears of sadness and fear fill her eyes before she slowly walks to the nearest bathroom and proceeds to break down crying, thinking he might not make it. Once Gina hears him, she gets up from the floor and runs over to him. Luther, are you okay? She checks his breathing and pulse. Gina's heart was racing as she was in a mix of pure happiness and relief as tears of relief stream down her eyes as she smiles softly at Luther. You had me worried, darling. You fainted, darling, you had me worried sick, Gina says, while hugging him tightly and crying softly tears of joy to see that he's okay. Was it something I did? Or did you overdo it? I'm sorry, but I'm just so happy to see you okay and not hurt. Oh. I'm sorry, darling, I did not mean to make you so flustered. We can tone it back a bit if that makes you more comfortable, dear, she says, still hugging him while her tail does a slow wag. I just want you and I to be happy together, and that means your comfort is one of my priorities. Just tell me what would make you feel most comfortable. Yes, darling, what is it? Gina smiles at him softly as her ears and tail slightly twitch. I'm listening. You are? Gina's eyes light up with pure joy and happiness at what he said, then looks at him in the eyes, tears of happiness filling her eyes as she gets a bright red face as her ears, her tail, and her whole body start to wiggle with how happy she is at hearing him say that. Really, darling? Why? I'm flattered at hearing it from you. You are so cute, Gina giggles softly and gives him a quick kiss. So can you tell me why I'm your favorite? Gina says, blushing and still with happy tears. Blushes even harder. Why, you think so? Gina says as her tail speed up and her ears are twitching more and more. Thank you, darling, Gina says, while blushing as she gives him another kiss on the lips. If you don't mind me asking, where would you like our relationship to go from here? As in, would you want this to be a romantic relationship or just remain as best friends? You really mean it? Gina says, blushing and with a big bright warm smile. I would be honored, dear, and so very happy to be your lover. Her face is completely red as her tail and ears are going crazy as she's still blushing and giggling. Anything, dear, I'm an open book, she says, getting herself together while still blushing. Ask anything, dear. I would absolutely be honored to be your wife. 1,000 times yes, darling. I love you too, she says before kissing him passionately. She pulls him in by the collar of his shirt into a deep passionate kiss, the both of them blushing heavily as they kiss deeply,